agenda will be acted at one time. At this time, is there any public address to the board? So we allot 2 minutes.
I won't use 2 minutes. Board, thank you for hosting the workshop that you hosted this afternoon. I thought the conversation was
Section code 551.071, 551.072. Why is everybody leaving? 551.074 of the Texas Government Code to discuss the following. A, human resource recommendations for school year 2019-2020, human resource employment resignations for 2019-2020, pending or potential litigation, and possible real estate acquisition. At this time, we are in closed session.
Oh, Steve.
Natalie, do you have a charger? An iPhone charger, an iPad charger? That's all. Oh, yeah, is yours close? Yeah, I'll take it. Oh, she'll take it. Hers is close.
Yes.
Thank you.
regular board meeting of the Board of Trustees of the McAllen Independent School District will be held Monday, October 28, 2019. It is now 6 o'clock and will be convened in open session. At this time, is there any public comment? Okay. For the record, nothing was talked about in closed session, nothing was voted upon. With that in mind, we go into the invocation, and we
Well,
have,
Mr. President, we did talk.
right, there was no action taken, I'm sorry. We did talk, we'd be in trouble if we didn't talk. With that being said, we have the invocation by Mr. Ito Alvarado and the Pledge of Allegiance by Mr. Sam Saldiva.
Almighty God, we come together today for the good of our children in our schools. Give us your wisdom as we make decisions that will affect them today and the years to come. Help us to work well together, recognizing that each of us, parents, educators, and community representatives, are here because we love children and we want what is best for them. We ask for your blessing and your guidance. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Trustee Suarez, before you get started, your UTSA is playing my Aggies. I want to bet you that my Aggies will beat UTSA, and the loser's got to wear the other person's shirt for the next board meeting.
No comment. Next thing on the agenda is number 7, Superintendent Report.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. In the latest episode of our Alumni Spotlight video series, we featured Dr. Carlos Puig, who's one of our outstanding alumni. He is a 1996 McAllen High School graduate, and he is now a practicing physician. And we'd like to share this short film with the board and our community.
Hi, my name is Dr. Carlos Puig. I graduated from McAllen High School in 1996, and I'm currently a board-certified obstetrician gynecologist here in McAllen, Texas. I immigrated from Mexico at an early age and got to elementary school at Navarro. From there, I went on to Lamar Middle School, and after that, I went to high school at McAllen High School. Graduated in 1996. From there, I did my undergraduate studies at Texas A&M University in College Station. Moved on to medical school immediately thereafter at the University of Texas Southwestern Medical School in Dallas. And then immediately to follow an obstetrics and gynecology residency at the University of Texas Health Science Center in Houston. After completion of that residency, I immediately moved to McAllen and started in private practice. Life as an immigrant in the United States, not knowing the language, can be quite challenging. McAllen ISD was instrumental because immediately upon my arrival, I met incredible teachers that were not only encouraging, but were determined to see me succeed. They were crucial, really, in my interest in the sciences. My interest in medicine had developed from an early age. Putting the two together drove me to a career in biology, chemistry, and thereafter medical school. I was involved in orchestra and played the violin throughout middle school and high school. But the best and funnest time of my life was spent on the tennis courts at McAllen High School. My coach in those years, Mr. Israel Castillo, was an incredible person who I believe helped to form my character in some way. If a student in the McAllen Independent School District is interested in pursuing a career in medicine or in the medical sciences, I would tell them that this long journey has to be undertaken if and only if your heart and your mind are in the right place. That is, if you truly desire to help others and to make the lives of others better.
Thank you.
That is a great report, and there's others like Mr. Puig out there, and thank you for all the educators out there and people who have chosen this as their profession, and this is why we're able to have the citizens and the doctors and the lawyers and the people that we have because of the profession that you have decided to choose, so thank you. With that in mind, we'll go to number 8, board report. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Now we want to recognize those who have helped establish a legacy of excellence here in McAllen ISD. We want to give something back to those who have previously served our community on our school board. This evening, we're proud to honor Mr. James Forrest Fitch. Mr. Fitch served on the board from 1965 through 1977. He served 1 year as board president from 1967 through 1968. During his time on the board, the district opened 6 new schools. These included Lincoln, Milam, Bonham, Bowie, Seguin, and Brown. The district initiated a free lunch program, a migrant program, and a bilingual program during these years. Mr. Fitch, a medical doctor who believed in serving others, led the district during a time of substantial growth. Please join me in a round of applause for Mr. James Forrest Fitch.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. We go to item 12, board member committee report and district reports. We go to 12A, 1, instructional service report. Chair, Mr. Sam Saldivar.
Thank you, Mr. President. On Friday, October the 25th, at 9:30 in the morning, Trustee Aliceda and I met with Dr. Ibarra to discuss 4 items on today. And the first item, which was led to the board workshop, was discussing the McAllen ISD International Baccalaureate Diploma Program, which was a workshop at 4 p.m. There are also items 12B1 and 12B2 were discussed, and we're prepared to answer any questions the board may have. This deals with high school band uniforms and the Career Technical Education Program, which are reports, both of those will be reports shortly. And then also on the consent agenda, we discussed the maximum class size waiver application for 2019-2020, which is item 14A, I'm sorry. This concludes our report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. The next item is A2, human resource briefing. Chair, Mr. Tony Fodina.
Thank you, Mr. President. In our meeting that we had on Thursday morning by Trustee Alvarado, Trustee Saldivar, and with Director of Human Resources Todd Miller, we discussed the upcoming recommendations and resignations, the approval of the job description for the Assistant Director of Transportation, and we got TASB Legal Update number 114. We'll have our first reading on November 11th, second reading on December 9th, and be ready because it's 962 pages of exciting reading, mostly legal, about 12 local updates that we'll be looking at.
Thank you, Tony. We want you to read all those 900 pages and make sure and give us a good briefing.
Get right to it.
A3 is district operation briefing. Chair, Ms. Debbie Crane Alizeda.
Yes, we met on Friday with Ms. Benavides, Trustee Esparza, and myself, and I believe Trustee Felina called
I
in.
checked in later in the afternoon.
Yes, we all had different schedules on Friday, so it was a little bit hard. It was a quick, we talked about the facilities and maintenance operations projects that are going to be on later on this evening. Mr. Trevino will submit those. And then in our consent agenda, we have the final payment of our hurricane fence for Gonzales Elementary. And we also have the sale of the very small tract of land on Jackson, and that'll be in consent agenda tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Alizeda. Next is 12A4, business operation briefing. Trustee, Mr. Danny Vela.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our committee met, Trustee Saldivar and myself, with Ms. Richards. It was a very brief committee meeting where we discussed the monthly financial investment report. Ms. Richards will lead us in that discussion later on in the meeting. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. We go to 12B, district reports. 12BA, report regarding new uniforms from McAllen Memorial High School band through the Texas Association of School Board, by board contract number 587-19. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. The high school band programs are presently on a 9-year rotation for new marching band uniforms. The Memorial High School Band will be purchasing new marching band uniforms during the 2019-2020 school year. With us today, we have Mr. Angel Martinez, the Memorial High School Band Director, with a sample of the chosen design, and this is for information purposes only. Mr. Martinez.
So when you say 9 years, that means for their 10th year reunion, they get to see a new uniform?
Technically, yes, sir.
Okay. If you want, Mr. Vela would try it on and model for us.
With all due respect, I did go to Memorial, graduate from Memorial.
Yeah, but
Should be
Mr.
me.
Vela will probably fit in the uniform.
Most definitely.
I'm size 31.
Yeah. 32.
You want to talk about it for a second? Good evening, Board. Dr. Gonzalez, President, and members. On behalf of, here we go again. On behalf of the McAllen Memorial Band Program, we want to say thank you first off for all your support of our band program and all the McAllen ISD band programs and fine arts programs. It's great for the support that we have. Today we have for you a mock-up of our band uniform that we want to have here moving forward. Kind of holding it together a little bit here for us. We have, band uniform.
Oh, it's okay, that's.
That's good.
Now, it was done in a wrong color blue. We wanted to keep our navy blue on here. So hence, if you can tell, we have a little grate here for it. The Colombian blue goes right up into the uniform, hence into the pants that would be here for navy blue. And then our shako for a long design of going into the Colombian blue. We chose the navy blue to make sure that the Colombian popped a little bit more with that. Everything you see in the uniform that is navy will be white for our 3 drum majors. So we cover all school colors of Colombian blue, gold, and white with the navy accent color. Navy accent color helps keep it a little more clean. And then to also incorporate our Memorial M, because so when we hit it here with the gold M. These uniforms, one of the good things about them this year, and moving forward, they are washable for our students instead of the regular stuff to send off to the dry cleaners and things like that. So the kids or one of our section parents can take them home and wash them, number one. And number two, these sleeves are detachable so that we can give a different look, especially also on hotter days that we want to make sure we have our uniforms on. We can take the sleeves off and have the kids maybe wear an Under Armour type of shirt underneath so they can stay a little cooler. Try to stay a little cooler here in the South Texas heat with things. And of course, it would be a navy blue, not a royal blue for our uniforms.
I just want to make a comment. I know a couple of alumni and former board members stressed the fact that in the new uniforms, there's not a lot of Columbia blue. I'm going to reiterate what you say. One of the reasons, the main reasons why you went with a navy blue is so that they stay clean.
Yes. Yes, sir. Because with all the action that they get in just one night alone.
No doubt.
Currently, right now, we have white on the top of our uniform right now.
I've seen them.
And it's very hard to keep clean on a weekly basis, plus send them to get cleaned and things like that. So we wanted to make sure that we are going to use white. We put it on the drum major uniforms that are in the forefront of our marching band show and stuff like that. And then the darker side of the uniform,
So again, the reason why we went with darker is to keep it clean.
Yes, sir.
Got it. Beautiful. Very nice.
Chairman, what does that cost? The uniform cost?
With everything we're getting, and Angel, it's 250 uniforms, is that correct? Yeah, it's around 150,000. So this uniform itself is probably about 600. Yeah, that's why they're only every 9 years.
Okay, thank you. Mr. President, I have a question.
Sure.
What happens to the other uniforms, the ones we currently have?
Those will be salvaged and then auctioned off.
And not by auctioned off, it's to outside vendors that may be interested in purchasing,
Right,
not necessarily
it's a
students.
standard protocol is that it's taken off, and one of Cindy's departments handles it, correct? Or used to?
The disposals will now be through
Yeah.
FMO.
FML, right.
Okay. Very good. And the process for arriving at this style, could you kind of give us a little bit of background, what process you all took to
You've been working
make
on
this
this for about
decision?
3 years now?
Yes, sir. We've been working on it for a while in contact with various uniform companies, having them different mock-up designs and things like that. We want to make sure we're representing our Colombian blue with it, so hence that plus also keeping up with the times of what our other band uniforms looking like and stuff. Getting specs and bids and things like that. So it's been about a 3-year process for this to see where we're at with it and not putting every bit of our resources that are be allotted for the kids and for all the uniforms that we have. We have, again, not just these uniforms, but 4 more for the drum major uniforms for the kids that conduct in front of the band as well.
And then you also met with Mr. Alvarez?
Yes, I
several
met with
parents.
Mr. Alvarez back late last year, once we got this in for him to look at and approve of. I also met with our band booster officers and stuff, and we have the kids gonna be looking at it tomorrow. They'll have to come here first.
You'll be excited.
Yes, they're very excited. They know it's coming, they've seen our sketch work of it, but they haven't seen the actual mock-up of it yet. So they have seen the sketch work that the uniform company sent us.
Please tell your band on behalf of the board and all of us, Superintendent, congratulations on the one.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your support. We appreciate it.
Now, with the budget allocation, this was clearly within the budget allocated for band uniforms in the replacement cycle, following the replacement cycle established by the district.
Correct.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Any other questions?
9 years?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you. Very nice.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
Thank you very much.
Angel?
All right.
Here, she will take it.
At this time, at 6:15, I'm going to recess the board meeting and go into the public comment portion of our meeting. We have 3 speakers. I believe there's only 2 present. 6:28. I will close the public comment portion and reconvene our regular board meeting at 6:28. And we go to item 12B, reports of Career Technology Education Program. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. This presentation will showcase the CTE's development of the new programs of study that include heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and HVAC, emergency medical technology and dispatching, and forensic science technology. And we'll be presenting CTE program overviews for 2019 and beyond. And this report is for information purposes only. At this point, I will turn it over to Dr. Ibarra.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. Yes, it is my pleasure to bring a report forth on Career Technical Education Program. Before I begin, I do want to thank and acknowledge our CTE administration, Ms. Liz Sandoval, Mr. David Lyons, and Ms. Diana Peña, who are here today, and of course, they prepared this presentation for you. I'd like to begin with the vision and mission of the Career Technical Education Program, which is focused on improving academic and technical education opportunities for students, including rigorous and relevant career preparation. The CTE department takes great pride in helping students reach their full potential through this program. I'd like to start here with a 3-year enrollment analysis of students participating in CTE. As you can see, we have had a slight decrease from the past 2 years, from 2017 to 2018 to 2018-2019. We had a decrease of 338 students. And then this past year, there was another slight decrease of 94 students. This decrease is due partially to student choice, as students have more opportunities to participate in AP, dual IB. It has an effect, of course, on the enrollment in the CTE programs. And also the overall student enrollment at the high schools has decreased, so it's also impacting our student enrollment. Now, I do want to emphasize that our CTE counselors, as well as academic counselors, do a great job of providing comprehensive advisement to ensure that students make the best choices as it pertains to both academic courses and elective courses. Ms. Aliceda, thank you for this request. It's very interesting. If we take a look at this visual here, if you paying attention specifically at the district level, you can see that we have a huge number of students that are participating in the CTE program, 85% to be exact, this school year. So even though our enrollment has decreased, there's an increase in overall participation. And again, you can see the slight decrease there in the total enrollment, so that that contributes to the slight decrease on the previous slide. But again, we are increasing the enrollment in CTE programs from 84.1% last year to 85.5%. And then this information is also provided to you for each of the campuses for your review. If we move on, district-based certifications is part of our accountability system, a new A through F accountability system. So in McAllen ISD, we offer 34 certifications in 11 areas. And so we are very pleased with the number of certifications that we are making available to our students. You see that we have increased the number of license and certification by 18% this past year. So again, we're very pleased, because we are offering plenty of opportunities for our students. So yes, it's about the accountability, but more importantly, it's about affording students the opportunities to learn valuable skills that are equipping them for success, both academically and into the workforce. Now, certifications and licenses, of course, is just one piece of the program. We also have partnerships. So you have the three-year trend there, the number of students or the number of partnerships that we are offering. At 55 this past year. Dual enrollment hours have also increased, although we are seeing a decrease in overall dual enrollment hours. And that is because now the universities are asking us to be very, very diligent with the number of dual courses that we offer, simply because it does impact financial aid. And so students must take courses that lead to their degree plan. Okay, so that is why we have seen an overall decrease overall, but in CTE we are up. And then also work-based learning sites, job shadowing, we are slightly up from 119 to 144. So we're very, very pleased with the overall opportunities, again, that we are affording our students. Now, we're very proud of the 3 new programs that we're offering at the CTE Center. We have the emergency medical technician dispatcher cohort 1, and we have 20 students in this cohort. Again, this is the first year that we are offering this program at the CT Center. We also have the forensic science technician cohort 1, and we have 18 students in this program. And then finally, HVAC technician cohort 1, there's 13 students in this program. This program is not offered at the CT Center. This one is offered at the military, at STC at the military campus. And we do have a short video that we want to share with you, and hopefully it works. Let's see.
McAllen ISD CT is now offering students the opportunity to obtain credit hours towards the heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and refrigeration technology certification out of South Texas College, but more commonly known as HVAC. For these students, they go through a 2-year cohort and they're able to obtain up to 16 hours of college credit, which can later be applied to the full 40-hour credit certification. It allows them to save money and it allows them to get a jump on their college credit hours towards the certification. McAllen ISD CTE is now offering a one-of-a-kind, unique to the state certification through South Texas College, certifying students as forensic science technicians. This is a fantastic opportunity for students to not only obtain lecture and the textbook way that things are done, but to also obtain the hands-on working skill of actually processing crime scenes. Here at the CTE Center, we have the opportunity to be able to use the ample space that we've been provided to recreate crime scenes and present these to the students to be able to process and learn these technical skills that are needed in order to go out into the workforce. Or there's no training that's offered to entry-level positions locally, and this program is going to change that. McAllen ISD CT is now offering a 2-year emergency medical dispatch and emergency medical technician program to our students. This is a fantastic opportunity for students to be able to not only be trained, but to be job ready upon graduation. Preparing their resume, preparing their experiences, preparing their trainings, all in a 2-year period. They'll be certified members of the CERT team, which is the Community Emergency Response Team. They'll be certified emergency medical dispatchers, and they'll be certified as emergency medical technicians. Fantastic opportunity. It saves them the money that would need to be spent post-graduation, and it gives them the hands-on training here at the CTE Center for practical applications.
It's a great presentation.
Mr. President, I have a question.
I have one more.
We have one more slide? Sorry.
Yes.
Other questions.
Yes, so in 2021, we plan to add 3 new programs of study at the CTE Center. The 3 new programs are the following: fire science certification, medical assistant certification, and culinary arts. And at this time, our CTE director and coordinators will share more details about each of these programs. So Ms. Sandoval, Mr. Lyons, and Ms. Peña.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Board President, members. Thank you for allowing us time to give you information about our programs and our updates for next year. I have here Ms. Diana Peña, which will give you a little bit of information of what it will look like for next year. These programs fall under her leadership, so let me turn it over to her.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us this opportunity, and they fall under our leadership here at McAllen ISD. So one of the first programs that we're proposing is firefighter. So firefighter, it's an appropriate age level, entry-level position for kids who are interested in law enforcement. And one of the things that a lot of people don't know that is, if you are a Texas police officer or a Texas firefighter, your college is waived. The fee is waived. So here's a way that kids that are interested in going into law enforcement, which you need to be 21 years old to be a police officer, 18 years old is all you need to be a firefighter. So you can go in, and in fact, Mr. Bettis, who is our instructor at the CT Center, that's how he got his bachelor's degree, because he was in law enforcement. So there's proof right there that that's going into law enforcement or into fire science, you can get your college paid for, as long as it's a state college. So no St. Mary's, no anything like that. It's also an opportunity for us to build a relationship with the city of McAllen through the fire department. They have their own academy, and we've already got a great relationship with the chief and with the fire department, so it's a good way to increase that relationship. It also diversifies our emergency services program by now also offering the fire science component. And it's the basic firefighter certificate is also on that list of 244, so it adds to CCMR. The medical assistant program, we're already offering it here at all 3 high schools, but what we wanted to do was to move it to a centralized location where both the EMT and the med assist could benefit from that same equipment. So instead of, we know that all of our high schools, they're different. The labs are different in each one. So instead of getting subpar or low-end equipment for 3 high schools, why not get the best for 1 high school and have the students bus there? So you're getting more return on investment with the teacher that can also help. We already have, where you saw that ambulance, that's going to be that ambulance plus a triage center. So we already have something in place there that can, you get more bang for your buck on that one. We also want to be the premier emergency services facility district in the valley. So if your son or daughter wants an emergency services or anything in medical, anything in emergency services, right away you know you're going to come to McAllen, because we don't want to be like, we want to be better than, and we want to pave the way. Another way for us to pave the way in doing something that nobody else is doing, kind of innovative, is a combination program with culinary and Strides. Strides already has where they're getting certifications for cake decorating. What if we could do something that had to do with job readiness skills and having our own cafe? There's a place called Hugs Cafe in McKinney, Texas, which is where I started getting this idea, and plus what's already going on, something that we can build on. The Texas Workforce Commissioner, Julian Alvarez, Workforce Commissioner on Labor, is also, the state of Texas is pushing right now Texas Hires Ability. So any business that has a 10% population that is either developmentally or physically challenged, it's a big wave in Texas to hire ability. So what if we had our own in-house way of training these kids from beginning, starting with a simple sandwich shop, making simple sandwiches, maybe two or 3 hours for 2 days out of the week, where our culinary arts students could also come in and help those. Doing the Pro Start curriculum that we're doing right now, the kids have to get 400 hours to get their certificate of completion. Part of that is they have to do something having to do with helping a venture in school. So it's a win-win for both programs. In fact, Dr. Emily Knight, who is the new CEO for the Texas Restaurant Association, she was down in the summer. She's coming back November 5th to have a big meeting with UTRGV, who just started their hospitality program. And she says, I want to make one stop after UTRGV or before UTRGV. I want to visit your Strides program. Because when she came to McAllen and was at Memorial, she met with 2 of the Strides teachers and found out about the things that we were doing. Right now, the Texas Restaurant Association and the partnership the McAllen ISD CT has formed with them, they're looking for outside ventures that they can help support. So that's the third component, the third thing that we want to bring in, and also having maybe like a hydroponics area where they can grow their own lettuce, their own tomatoes. If they they could learn those cultivating skills also, maybe go work at Home Depot or anywhere that has a nursery or a garden or a greenhouse. So this is what we're proposing for 2020 and beyond. And if you have any questions about what's going on now,
We've got our teacher.
our teacher he increased enrollment. We're usually worried because the kids have to travel. It's something new bus routes, and they were very interesting in the beginning. And we worry that we were going to lose students in that EMT, EMD. We increased by 2, and that all has to do with him. So if you have any questions for him, he's right here.
I have a question. Have you guys had the opportunity to visit the Regional Emergency Response Center?
Yes.
That is an incredible facility.
Yes.
And I think that McAllen ISD is preparing that workforce right there
We had the opportunity to tour it the other day for the grand opening, and it was just a sight beyond eyes. And as I'm getting that tour of the facility, I'm seeing the ambulance, and I'm seeing the triage center that you guys are working at. I'm seeing Mr. Pettis's forensics class come into play, and to me, I think that is incredible, you know, with the, not only the solving, but the mitigation on how we can prevent some of the things that we see. So kudos and congratulations. Doc, this is, you know, you guys have grown this very well, and the CTE program, you guys are out of this world right now. Thank you for being our rock stars.
Thank you.
Yeah, in fact, Mr. Pettis just had a private tour of the facility, and he's already working on a tour for the students.
I went to high school with the guy that runs it, so let me know how I can help
With Danny?
bridge that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me know how we can put that together, and we'll definitely get it done, so that our students can see that hands-on, you know, what it is they have to look forward to. My only concern is they're going to come back and say, well, we need to get more funding, because we saw that each desk has about 6 monitors on it, and we want to be able to replicate that, but I'm sure that we can find a way to get that done.
It's got 14 stations, and in fact, the chairs are $2,500 chairs, because you need to be comfortable when you're doing that. It's a phenomenal, and they've already told us that they want to start like you have a reserve officer program, they want to start the reserve communications officer.
We'll teach our students to stand, though. I'm
Yes.
just joking.
Well, and funny you say that, because when you stand, you can raise the desk. It's one of
Yes.
Oh,
those,
really?
one of those desks that.
That's what I meant.
That raises up with you. So, I mean, it's just an incredible opportunity, and I think that we are primed and in the right position right now to work hand in hand. And, you know, this regional emergency response center, they don't just handle FAR, they handle Lynn, San Manuel,
Oh, yeah,
South
no.
Padre Island, Port Isabel. They handle valley, you know, cities across the valley, and that's just an opportunity for our students to get that exposure to what it is to be able to assist, you know, our very own people, so.
And it's a pipeline for them to get employed. I know I did it for 5 years. I was a 911 operator, and all I had to do was pass a typing test and a listening test. Nobody told me about the horrible things I was going to hear and the great things I was going to hear. So what we're doing for our students, it's first, you know, it's phenomenal. It's a dream come true for all of us, those opportunities that the kids are going to get right out of high school.
Mr. President, I have a question. On the fire sciences, how many students did you say were going to start in that program?
We would probably start the same, a cohort of about no more than 20. What happens is when you get more than 20, it becomes difficult to have enough time to do all the hands-on things that they have to do. But diversifying the program, now you're going to be getting kids that weren't getting into the health science programs that maybe want to do something else. Because now in the state of Texas, your firefighters have to be EMTs. In the big cities, they have to be paramedics. So it's just a win-win for a lot of programs.
And this, you anticipate how many from within the district and how many from outside the district? Have you done any projections like that at this point?
At this point, no. I know the only other district that has firefighter right now in the valley is Brownsville. So they're kind of, I don't think any of us are going to drive to Brownsville. So it's something that once we start marketing and advertising, I know in the picture there's a student there from Mac High that he's already in the Fire Explorers in Edinburgh and stuff, and he's already saying, I'm going to bring my friends that go to Edinburgh High School, my friends that go to Mission.
So if we have the potential that we get double that number, is there a possibility of expanding the cohort, or do you definitely want to start with that number?
We need a building.
Sorry.
We would need to look at facilities and probably review the plans with Mr. Trevino, and so that's the kind of planning we'd need to, the next level of work that we would need to be involved in.
I'm glad to see on the culinary arts combining it with Strides. How is it that you plan to work with the Strides program and the culinary arts?
Where our students right now would have to travel, it would come in phases because it's not built right now for a commercial kitchen, right? But if you do in phases, like first starting out with a sandwich shop and then adding, there are ways to make a kitchen that is adaptable where you have a cooktop that doesn't burn anybody. It only burns the pot that has the same bottom. So we're thinking of things like that to where the Strides kids win and our kids win, because it's all about inclusion.
Now, as you're looking at the culinary arts and you're talking about certain equipment, is this being tied into what may be already being done at other campuses where their equipment's being installed, like at Memorial and the like? Is somehow linking them in some way, or are you going to set up a culinary arts facility at Achieve Early College High School?
Well, I think the goal would be that.
The goal would be that, but the first thing we would need to do is assess the facility, get facilities involved, and see what it really looks like and what it really would take. But right now at Memorial, where we have the program, we don't have the capability to add any commercial equipment because of code. So I know that we had talked just very briefly about that possibility, and right now it looks like at least we have some of the infrastructure. Again, we didn't do extensive work on it, so it would mean we'd need to do more work on that, on what it would look like.
Again, I think it's important for us as we go into our budget discussions this year and into the next years as to how these great programs are going to be supported financially, either through the district or through other means, because there may be other opportunities with our community to also have, but we have those discussions, Dr. Gonzalez. But thank you very much. This is really great. The earlier question I was going to have to you, Dr. Ibarra, is that number dropping from 6,000 and so to about 20. Does that have something to do with the fact that when it comes to applying for, and I think you kind of mentioned it, for student financial aid, and this has been an ongoing concern, that if they take certain classes, then it doesn't come out of their career path,
Right.
then they are not able to borrow all the monies they're going to need to actually complete their degree. So is that why we're seeing that big drop?
Well, at the CTE level,
On the dual
of the
class?
dual, we're seeing a drop in overall academic, really academic. The CTE, we have not seen a drop in the dual enrollment, but yes, to your point, financial aid is only awarded to students up to a certain numbers. I believe it's 124 or 160, I'm not sure of the amount. But so students, when they're in high school and they're taking all these courses that are dual enrollment, it's counting already towards their financial aid. And so what we want to be careful with, and what the universities are advising us to do, is to, again, be very diligent, very strategic in the comprehensive advisement, so that students are taking dual enrollment courses that are counting towards their degree plan. So it's playing ahead. These courses that I'm taking in high school, they're going to count towards my degree plan in college. And so that when I do graduate from high school and move on to the college level, I'm not going to run out of financial aid because I took all these courses in high school that I really liked, but didn't count towards my degree plan. So it's about that comprehensive advisement and making sure that students understand, and parents understand, that every course counts, but it has to be meaningful. It has to lead towards their degree plan.
Thank you, Dr. Ibarra. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate all you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you for all your support.
I have a question.
Okay.
No, I was just, when you were talking about the program, and I was just wondering, what does your flow chart look like? I mean, so you have 6,000 high school students, but you also have middle school and elementary. You also have the Lego, you robotics, you're all over. What does your department look like? How many people, I mean, it's you, it's Ms. Sandoval, and then under that, how many people are running this incredible program?
CTE is only from 6th grade to, in the middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th. So we're not in the elementaries. However, we do collaborate with robotics to do the career awareness. So that's how we do have CT in that form. And we do career fairs and things like that. But we have, and CC Sparks. So we do advise in that form. However, yes, it's David, myself, and yeah, just the three of us.
Three?
Yes, ma'am.
And a department in charge of 6,000 students, minimum 6,000 students, more than that. That's incredible.
Thank you.
That's absolutely incredible what y'all do, and the initiative that you come to with us all the time, the excitement, I don't know how you do it. That's incredible.
We have
Congratulations.
great teachers.
Yes, great teachers.
It's been helping us a lot.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
but I mean,
great team.
you look at a department, like an English department, and they have, all these different people on all these different campuses and everything, and that you're going to all these campuses yourselves, and you're doing all this. Congratulations to y'all, that's fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Also, CT counselors at every district. And that is the
Yes.
branch that they have. So the CT counselor doesn't do an academic alpha They're 100%, all the electives. So those CTE counselors go down to middle school. And
Yes.
that's the awareness, do talks so that the kids know what classes they're going to take. And so CTE counselors at the campus are,
And who do they, what's the hierarchy? CT counselor goes to,
well,
they're under y'all?
they answer to a lead counselor at the campus and the principal, but they also have a director here.
Yes, and so we collaborate constantly on an ongoing basis. And also our CT staff administration is amazing. Our staff at the office, they have great systems, and our department heads. So we try to leverage as much as we can and work efficiently, effective, and what's not working, we evaluate. And so, but thank you for the compliment, because we can't do it without,
No, and
or
our-
without our
And
teachers
our
as well.
teachers, because you,
Yeah.
just like you said, we have
Passion.
about 7,000 in CTE, and we got 4,929 licenses certifications. Houston ISD has 43,000 in their CTE program, and they got 2,700 licenses.
Wait,
So
say that again, say that again.
McAllen ISD has
Right.
about 7,000 kids in CTE.
Right.
And our teachers helped our students earn 4,924 licenses.
Because it had to balance.
Right, we spent a lot of time doing that. Houston ISD has 43,000 students in CTE.
43.
43,000, and they earned 2,700 licenses last year.
But on that note, we are expanding into middle school and trying to do more high school electives and preparing them for the pathway so that they come into high school more college and career ready. So we're doing things there as well. But again, thank you for all your support. We couldn't do it without your support.
I just have a
Thank
quick
you.
question, I'm sure, and by the way, I just echo all the comments. It's incredible what you are doing. Mr. Pettis, I can tell, I would love to take a class with you. I mean,
Yes.
just on the video, on the video, it's very interesting. So, Ms. V, you brought up a question that we have dedicated counselors, and I'm sure this is happening because I know you're on top of all this. But do the other counselors, I'm sure, work hand in hand with that CT?
Oh, yes.
Because
Yes.
That's why I wanted to.
Yes.
Because they're hearing, and my goodness.
So-
Yes.
CCMR.
Right.
Cannot be accomplished without a counselor endorsements. Once we turned into high
Right.
school diplomas with endorsements, it made CTE shoot up because it's mandatory to graduate.
Right.
It used to be just how good a CTE counselor could convince you, but now they're plugging in, so a kid is going to go the AP way, or they're going to go a CTE
Right.
way, or they're going to go a dual. There's no choice with a district that's getting 95% CCMR to not be
CT.
anything. You have to be something.
you have to be something.
So it is incredible,
Yeah.
but it is a team.
Yes.
And every one of those counselors work with that team at the middle school and the high school. And it ties to accountability. And so they cannot graduate without these courses. And they're guided. They're guided on do 3 years or do 2 years. So it's an incredible effort on, we were just with a CNI team today. That was all the deans, all the schedulers, the principals, the CTE counselors. They're all chiming in.
Right.
What do we do? What do we do?
Because I can imagine a student comes in and says to a regular counselor, I said regular, but, just handles the difference, says, my career goal is to be a federal officer. And then, go talk to CT, go get your certification, go do all
Yes,
that.
sir.
They're guided.
So
Ms.
I-
Jimenez is.
Yes.
Yes,
CTE
yes.
counselors.
So that's
Yes.
happening.
She's the one that did
Yes.
wonders for my kids.
Big part
Yes.
of
And-
what kids.
We had an IB workshop before this, and I'm going to conclude my remarks telling you the same thing that I told them, that we're committed to your program. We're the district of choice. We have some of the best programs around, AP, IB, CT. And anything y'all need to continue to grow, obviously work through, the proper channels. Superintendent, we're here. I'm here as a board. We're here as a board to support you in any way. This is incredible, because at the end of the day, those kids, our kids, are benefiting from this. So continue to grow, continue to think outside the box like you guys are doing, and continue to hire incredible teachers like Mr. Pettis.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We go to item 12B3, report regarding facilities, maintenance, and operations. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. This is a monthly report from our Facilities Maintenance and Operation Department. Our Executive Director here, Mr. Ruben Trevino, will walk us through this month's projects, and this item is for information purposes only.
Mr. Trevino, you have 5 minutes. I'll give you a 1 minute. No, I'm just-
If it were up to Ruben, he wouldn't need 5 minutes.
I'm now the
It's actually 3 minutes.
Lisa Cavazos will tell us where all the buzz is happening across McAllen ISD.
You set it off.
Wrong report.
Oh, YouTube is running in the background.
Mr. Trevino, I ran to someone from Roma and said you were a state champion cross-country guy back in high school, that there's a plaque up there, or
Not-
runner-up.
Not state champion, state runner-up.
State
Yes.
runner-up, still, incredible. No, with cross-country. He was one of the top runners in Stark County.
Good evening, members of the board. Dr. Gonzalez. Thank you.
Change gear real quick.
That is true, though. Thank you.
It's true,
for,
right? Yeah. I
yes.
mean, in a good way.
I'm here to report on the current ongoing construction projects that we have here at McAllen ISD. Our first report is the Achieve Early College High School at Lincoln roof replacement with the AC replacements. This is currently right now at around 20%. We have about 50 to 60% of the materials on the site. We are currently working with contractor and school administration to be able to have different access points as a contractor needs them, and working with staff development at the same time. Our next project.
Ruben, I'm sorry, didn't we do the roof like 5 years ago at Lincoln? Refresh my memory, why we do, or it was only part of it?
No, Lincoln was not one of those, not 5 years ago. 5 years ago, we did De Leon, then after
Oh,
De
we had
Leon, we did
leaking
Rowe.
problems one time during that time.
Yeah.
The gutters were in bad shape, okay.
That was the gym.
That was
Yes.
the gym,
Yes, sir.
okay.
And that was about 7 years ago, before my time. Our next project is the staff development at Lincoln, which is over on the north side, the new parking lot. Right now, they are currently working on the subgrade and drainage. This would be about 30% completion for the total project. The next project is the Brown Middle School 8-lane competition track. The drainage is all in place already. Subgrade is being finished as we speak. This picture here is from last week. We are probably going to be seeing paving hopefully by the end of this week, weather permitting. The next picture on the slide you see is the Memorial High School cafeteria upgrades, Phase 2. They are currently right now working almost complete with the plumbing underground, and some of the infill has been going in, and we should be seeing concrete coming in hopefully by the end of the week on the kitchen side of the area, which would be the cooking area, no more on the north back entrance. We currently have the intercom replacements. Houston is now complete. Kathy is being worked on as we speak. We have the surveillance systems that we walked last week at Fossum and Kathy, and Brown and Travis are set to begin this week as well. For the month of September, we had 1,631 submitted work orders and 1,082 complete. And this is under the 5-minute mark. Thank you.
Would have been less if I would have let you go, right?
Usually the case. Any questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
The next is 12B, the report regarding monthly financial investment report. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. Mrs. Richards will present the monthly financials for August 2019. This item is for information purposes only.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. As of August 31st, 2019, the year-to-date revenues are $10,055,936. The year-to-date expenditures are $12,721,885, resulting in expenditures over revenues of $2,665,949. Moving on to the August 31st investment report. The beginning market value was $106,072,982, and the ending market value was $102,838,166. The average yield to maturity for the period was 2.51%. Through August 31st, 2019, the year-to-date earnings are $405,479.01. And that concludes my report.
That was way below under 5 minutes. You all ready?
Yes. Next item is 13A, the approval of human resource recommendations for school year 2019-2020. Dr. Gonzalez.
Oh, yes, sir, Mr. President. Human Resources is submitting a list of resignations under separate cover for discussion during closed session. Administration is recommending action on this item.
Move to approve. We have a motion on the floor.
Recommendations or recommendations?
These are recommendations, sir.
You moved. I second.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor and a second. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Next is 13B, the human resource employee resignations for school year 2019-2020. Dr. Gonzalez.
Oh, yes, sir. Human Resources is submitting a list of resignations for the 2018-2019 school year under separate cover for discussion during closed session, and this item is for information purposes only.
So,
We go to 13C, pending or potential litigation.
No report, Mr. President.
We go to 13D, possible real estate acquisition.
And no report, Mr.
Okay.
President.
Okay. We go to consent agenda. We go items 14A through 14C.
so moved?
Second.
We got a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion?
I'm sorry. Yours too over here
No,
I'll let Mr. Vela have that one.
I'll take it.
for record.
What I said that there was a motion and a second. I didn't ask how many. All those in favor of the motion
So-
signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Just for a record, so.
You got it, right?
did you-
He has
did you-
Danny Vela.
Would you
I
get
have
to?
Trustee Vela as the second.
Okay, thank you.
He's a good listener. We go to item 15, the instructional service, instructional leadership, human resource, district operations. We go to 15A, instructional services items. There's nothing. We go to B, human resource items. The B1, approval of job description for Assistant Director of Transportation. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Administration reviews all positions to maximize operational efficiencies. In an effort to meet the needs of the Transportation Department in our district, the position of Assistant Director will create more efficient routing and safety for our students, and administration is requesting action on this item.
So moved.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second.
I do have a question.
Sure.
Is this not a, this is a new position? I thought we had assistant. What was the interim's previous?
Director.
Before he was named director, what was his position?
Supervisor.
Yes, it was a supervisor, so sort of I guess it was the assistant director duties with a supervisor title.
Are we not filling a position, or is it we creating one adding to it, or is it
We're
just
repurposing the supervisor
repurposing?
position.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
We have a motion on the floor and a second for approval. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Next item we have is 15E, Board of Trustee, approval of Board Education minutes.
I'll move that we approve items 15E1 through
A through E.
A through E. Thank you. Oh, no.
There's no A.
No. I move that we approve items E1, 15E1A, 15E1B, 15E1C, 15E1D, 15E1E, and 15E, that's it.
That's it.
That's what he just said.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve 15-1EA through E. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Next item is Item 15E, approval resolution of Board of Trustees of the McAllen ISD expressing their votes and for the appraisal district director for 2020-2021 for the Hidalgo County Appraisal District Board of Directors. I'm just waiting for Natalie to tally up.
I still have mine.
Okay, might want to give them to her.
You can only vote once, Tony.
He is? Never mind.
Oh, that was a bad joke.
I know. That's not it.
Bad joke, I'm sorry.
Too soon. That's a lovely shade of red of yours, by the way.
What's the score?
How about that pump you gave the other day?
Do any of the students, y'all need anything signed for proof that y'all are here? If you need something signed, we can sign it for y'all. No? You're good? Okay.
That's Conrado Alvarado, by the way. For those of you that don't know him.
I know sometimes you need y'all to sign, right?
Save that autograph, it's gonna be worth millions one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're far from that. And then read over. You just got a B on your paper, by the way.
You could have gotten an A.
You could have gotten an A if someone else would have signed it.
You could have gotten an A, but you chose the B guy.
She didn't, she just wants it signed and she wants to go home and study.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have to add a question. No, then we'll have to go back and do it. So, Marco, you'll have to read blank votes of 490.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, just for each one.
She's just trying to help you.
Yeah, like 20 out of 490.
Well,
Well, I have it right here. I have it.
Yeah, yeah, so you just, yeah.
I'm
read
just
that
going to
sentence
read
over
out there,
and over.
I'll resolve that McAllen ISD does hereby vote.
Blank votes of 490 for so-and-so, blank votes of 490 for so-and-so, blank votes of so-and-so. Hold on.
What?
There's gonna be like maybe 10 people that have the different votes, right?
Yeah, but it's going to equal.
Right, but you say like 10 of
Marco
490 for Marco, 40 of 490 for Lear.
But you can get close into this.
Oh, yeah.
I have a meeting. There's 3.
He's growing up.
No, it's not him, it's the.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Okay, so the resolution will read as follows. Out of the 490, Albert Cardenas will get 53. Out of 490, David Hernandez will get 45. Out of 490, Eddie Betancourt will get 45. Out of 490, Joe Olivares will get 50. Out of 490, Pete Garcia will get 20. Out of 490, Richard A. Garza will get 225. And out of 490, Xavi Mandahani will get 50.
So moved, Mr. President.
We have a motion on the floor.
Second.
And a second. It adds up to 490.
Are you sure? Did you say 53 the first one?
55, the first one.
Oh, okay.
Is that up now?
Now it does.
Selective hearing on the left side.
I heard 53, sir.
So did I.
Selective hitting on every side but the middle. All right. We have a total of 490 votes. We have a motion on the floor and a second. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Who did the second, Peter? Next item is the scheduled meetings of 16A, November 11th, 2019, board workshop at 4 PM in the boardroom. 16B, November 11th, 2019, board meeting at 5 PM. 16C, November 11th, 2019, special board meeting at 6:15. 16D, December 2nd, 2019, special board meeting at 5 PM. 16E, December 9th, 2019, regular board meeting at 5 PM. And 16F, December 9th, special board meeting at 6:15.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the schedule of future meetings for the board.
We have a motion on the floor
Second.
and a second. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. At 7:13, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Meeting over at 7:14.